with Rod King from King Family Farms in Naramata. Rod, how was the 2019 growing season?
Well, Luke, I have to say it was one of the more, how do I put this, challenging vintages. It started off really well through the spring, even up to, I would say, August. People were thinking, and we certainly were, that the weather conditions up to that point had set us up for a really nice vintage. Fruit was coming along really well. And then September came along, and that was, to be honest with you, one of the most difficult Septembers we have ever had. And just to give you an example, Luke, of the rain in particular, September had 20 days of wetness, and our total rainfall on our farm amounted to about 3.5 inches of rain, and it dribbled out over the entire period. So we had no drying going on. Normally we might get 1.5 inches over that same period of time. Well, to make a long story short, particularly on the white varieties, being wet so much, there were conditions with disease, in particular for ourselves, botrytis on the Pinot Gris. And while it didn't affect the total crop all that much, as you know, the winemakers basically want clean fruit, and fair enough, I understand that. But so what that really meant in terms of the Gris, we had to actually, after you picked it, you had to look at every cluster, turn it around, and cut the rot out or flick it. But most cases, cut it, throw it on the ground. Our production costs on harvest were up about 35-40% this year, but we did send in good fruit. So, it's aggravating in terms of the whites, but the Chardonnay was pretty good, no issue there. And but in terms of the red varieties, very interesting was the going back to September, rain, cooler temperatures. So the reds have really in September struggled to continue their ripening. Fortunately, in October, things did improve. The rain backed off and we got back all the way up to normal temperatures. And so the reds have come along not too bad. The only other thing that was strange, not just for ourselves this year, Luke, and again, I'm sort of thinking of our own experience having grown up here. The other thing that was very interesting in terms of the industry as a whole is those rains, for the most part, were from Osoyoos right through to Vernon, all of them. Other years, Kelowna would get rain this week. Osoyoos, Oliver, maybe next week. Those sorts of things, just hit here and there. This year it was one end of the valley to the other. So it was really, is that climate change going on? I don't know. But it certainly was a stressful harvest. But there's always next year. It'll be different. That's the only given we know. It'll be different. So we got through it, and I think there'll be some pretty good wines out of it, and there'll be some less than good wines.